Hey guys, so moving on to blending. We've got hatching, then we're cross hatching. The difference with blending is it kind of gives your hand a break because the stomp is going to do the majority of the surface coverage, or provide the majority of the surface coverage rather than your hand going back and forth and covering it with pencil, okay? So you're gonna take your pencil again. It's okay if it's a little bit dull because we don't want any sharp lines. You're definitely not going to use a mechanical pencil with blending, okay? So we're just going to kind of on an angle use your pencil. And again, we want to achieve a really light silver value here. So you're just going to almost like a very soft coloring motion. Just lay down some graphite from your pencil. Graphite is just another word for that gray lead that's in your pencil. Okay, just a little. It doesn't have to even cover it perfectly. Just put down a little. Now you're going to take your stomp, and again, you're not pressing on the tip of it. You're using it like your finger. You're going to be working the graphite with the kind of edge of the cone here, like the bottom of your finger, okay? You can either go in kind of a circular motion, kind of massage it in, or you can directionally pull it into the corners. You can see how it's moving the lead or the graphite for you, and it's not smudging it or making it clumpy like your finger would. With the natural oils in your finger, this would look really clumpy, but here it's just moving it around and giving you a nice consistent shade, okay? So your goal is to make the whole square one value, one very light gray, making sure that you're blending in all the lines. Okay, I feel like I'm happy with this. And I'm just going to clean up the edges of my box with my eraser. Okay, now I'm going to go to my next one. You want to stay controlled, remember? You don't want to get too dark too fast because there's no going back then, okay? So we're going to, again, I'm going to try to put down the same amount of lead or graphite that I did with the first box. Okay, and now I might go over one more time. I might add like double the amount. But you don't want to add a crazy amount because remember the stomp is dirty now and it's carrying some of the lead over too. Okay, so just enough to feel like you added a little bit more than the first box. And now you're going to take your stomp again. If it looks too much the same, don't worry. You can blend it out and then do another layer on top of it. But I feel like mine went straight to looking a little darker. And again, if you're not sure, I recommend squinting at it to kind of get your lashes in the way, and then you see if the two grays are too much alike or if they're different enough. If at this point they look exactly the same, you can do another layer on top. Okay, I'm going to go on to the third one. Hold my pencil up on an angle and put some lead down really softly. Okay, once and again. when you're illustrating something using the blending technique, you can completely blend out your picture and then go back in and add darker areas. Okay, so you can layer the blending too. Don't feel like you need to perfect your value right off bat. Like this one might end up looking a little bit too much like this one, and then when I finish blending it out, I might do another layer on top. You cannot rush blending regardless of what technique you're using. You just have to be patient and you have to work it up and in order to get good quality shading. Okay, so to me, when I squint at that, they're way too similar. Do you see that? Okay, so I'm gonna go over again and I'm going to add some more lead. Not gonna push crazy because I wanna control how much I'm adding. Okay, added a little bit more, and now, again, your stomp is dirty, so it's carrying some graphite over as well. Okay, and when I squint at it, now I feel like it's a different value, so I'll just clean this up and then I'm gonna keep moving on. Lisa, just head into attendance. You'll just tell them that you were here, and then go. Okay, so again, when our stomps are worked in next week, though they might be covered, and they might even manipulate in shape, we can sand them down with some sandpaper to clean them up. They're not to be thrown out. They're good for a while. I'm gonna darken this one because it seemed too much like my third one. All right, almost done. And my last one is going to take 5 or more layers. So yeah, whenever you guys sharpen your pencil, don't worry about sharpening it to a perfect point because you never really want to use I mean, like, unless you're doing a line drawing and you need a perfectly thin line, you're never really going to be using that tip of your pencil. You just need enough lead showing to get a good mark. So again, you can kind of do like a circular massage motion, but then when you get to the edges, you can kind of just go vertically and horizontally to push the gray into the areas that you need it to go into. Okay, and this definitely looks too alike for me. I would dock a mark for this. Squinting at it, can't make out the difference here much, so I need to go back and add a couple more layers because we want an obvious difference between them. Okay, and I'm gonna clean up the edges with my eraser. All right, there you go. And so when you pull it back and you squint, you can tell that there's 5 distinctly different shades. What do you guys think? Did you be careful because these two run into each other oftentimes. So if you have to darken this one, don't be afraid to go back and tweak them.